All right, hello, welcome. My name is Leonardo, and this is another episode. And by another episode, I mean first episode, because I've never done this before. But I'm gonna shamelessly cash in on the Batman. Why wouldn't I, dude? Everyone does it all the time when it comes to YouTube channels. Batman's gonna be my thing now. This is my first video. Let's go. Guess what? Guess what I thought? I thought that it was mid. I thought it was mid. And before you get angry at me, because I know that everyone, they're saying it was a cinematic masterpiece. 3 hours of cinema and what we all love about Batman. Okay, and I know that you're gonna say that my opinion doesn't matter. And quite frankly, you are correct. I'm literally an incel. Okay, when people have access to good pussy, they don't make this type of shit. They don't care about movies, okay? But I really like this stuff. I really like it with my heart and my soul because I'm a filmmaker and I love Batman, dude. And I love this type of stuff, which is why I'm talking about it. So I understand everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I thought it was mid. Listen, the whole time, Bruce Wayne, he just seemed like an emo weirdo the whole time. And I know, like, that's a pretty lame thing to say. That shouldn't invalidate the entire movie. Here's the thing: people saying, "Oh, well, he's like an inexperienced Batman that doesn't really understand who he is, and he doesn't know who Bruce Wayne is, and he just doesn't understand yet." And the thing is, if they would have made a casting decision to make Batman played by a younger person, where maybe Batman was a late teenager or in his early 20s and still trying to figure out who he is and what he wants, like a post-Gotham television type of movie, that would have been understandable. But the thing is, this is Robert Pattinson, man. This is Robert Pattinson. Clearly, the Bruce Wayne that we see in this movie, The Batman, he's a pretty established guy. Clearly, he has been Bruce Wayne and Batman for a good amount of time now. And it's he just seems so I don't care anymore. And there's so many weird lines of dialogue. I remember right when the movie opens up, I was okay, this is pretty cool. And Alfred, him and Alfred are they seem to be having a pretty wholesome exchange. And then out of nowhere, he's "You're not my dad, Alfred." It's what? Where did that dialogue come from? It's weird. And it's I get it, I get it, but it's it's just the dialogue throughout the movie was so seemed forced at sometimes. There was a moment later on where I swear it's such forced exposition. There is a scene where there's this girl, right, who's getting strangled to death, on a voicemail call. The scene I'm talking about. And it's she's clearly she's clearly getting strangled to death. And it's we're all listening, and Selena is crying, clearly she's dying right now. We all know that she's getting strangled to death. And Commissioner Gordon is she's getting strangled to death. No, really? This happens so much throughout the movie. It's so freaking weird. And the thing is I don't know, I love all the people involved in this movie, by the way. I think Matt Reeves is freaking awesome. Okay, I love him. He said that he was going to be drawing inspiration from Chinatown and stuff like that. Jack Nicholson's character is going to be a private investigator type of stuff, and it's going to be real noir and stuff like that. And and all the people that are praising this movie, they're saying the same thing. They're yeah, man, it was a detective movie. And it's bro, the detective dynamics in the freaking Arkham Knight games were way better than this movie. It's it was basic cipher riddles, the typical riddle, da 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 da, they open the card and it's a little riddle, and it's okay, that's cool, that's Riddler stuff, right? But it continues throughout the movie, and it just, that's the entire trope. It's these little cipher riddles. And it's that's cool and all, but bro, I really wanted to see some hardcore detective stuff. You know what I mean? Even in the Arkham Knight games, you were going around doing detective work and putting it all together and running it back and seeing how the whole situation unfolded. But it was I don't know. It was like basic cipher riddle. Like it was like child's play. And there was one scene where I thought it was gonna really redeem the whole like Riddler aspect of it, was when they broke into the orphanage. Because like, you know, the Riddler is an orphan, and even throughout the games, like the orphanage tends to be a big part of like the lore in Gotham. I was like, okay, maybe like some crazy like Saw type of shit is gonna go down in the orphanage, and he has to choose like between something like, you know, Selena Kyle or some crap, like saving her, or like doing something else for the city. And, like I thought it was gonna be like some crazy like Jigsaw type of stuff going on in the orphanage, but it's like they broke into the orphanage, Batman and Gordon, and it's like they found some homeless people, and then they found a projector that was like playing some shit, and there was like some stuff sprayed on the walls, and then they just led, and it was just cut scene. It's like, bro, that was such a cool opportunity. You could have done so much more with that orphanage. So I was a little freaking bummed out by that. And by the way, I just want to reiterate, like Paul Dano, like he's the guy, man. I love that guy. I think he's a great decision for the Riddler. I don't think that he really did anything wrong in that movie. I think that that was actually created very well. But it's just like, here's the thing. Batman, Bruce Wayne, they are two different identities, bro. And I feel like in Christopher Nolan's trilogy, and people are going to be like, oh my God, you are just a Nolan buff. You can't stop talking about Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. And yeah, man, I love that. It's still my favorite trilogy of all time. I think The Dark Knight is the sickest superhero movie of all time. It's still my favorite, okay? I'm sorry. And it seemed like they drew inspiration from that a lot, you know, because the Joker is really chaotic with that stuff, and he's like tries to really show that like even the best people, you know, they become monsters when they're put in these like real grave sensitive situations. And you know, they had the whole like bomb type of shit, and it was like real cool. And they tried borrowing from that in this movie, but I just really feel like, I don't know if that would have, I feel like it didn't really have to be like that for the Riddler's character, because, you know, all these villains, like, they're different villains. They have different things, and I get it, because the Riddler really wanted to really wanted to expose the lies within, like, the authority, whereas the Joker was just kind of more chaotic and wanted to bring everyone to their breaking point, which I get that, but it's like, you know, some of the stuff, it just feels like the Riddler was trying to be too much like the Joker, man. And it's like, no, what you should have done, you should have stayed away from all the crazy, chaotic shit that the Joker did. And you should have really focused on the detective aspect of it, dude. I feel like they really could have done more when it comes to that part of the freaking film. And here's another thing. When it comes to a narrative filmmaking perspective, there was some issues, okay? And I don't want to be that freaking CinemaSins dick, okay? But like, there was a scene where it was like, they're breaking into this nightclub for, what was it, Falcone at the time, right? And they want to see the Penguin, and you know, it's basically this nightclub where just all the criminal dudes are at, and all the crooked cops and the DA. They're all, you know, just fuck it, you know, just put them all in the same damn spot, right? Because why not, you know? Why not just have everyone in the same location? And I get it, you know, because they want to enforce the fact that the DAs are hanging out with the crooked criminals, but it's like, it's all happening in the same spot. And it's like, Batman literally breaks into this room 3 times. I'm pretty sure it was 3 times. And I get it. Like, they wanted it once, he broke into the nightclub as Batman, and then the second time, he broke in as Bruce Wayne, and then the third time, he snuck in and nobody knew who was in there. And it's like, yeah, we get it. It's like, it's Batman, and then it's Bruce Wayne, and then it's, you know, you don't know. And it's like, it's cool, right? But like, the thing is, as of right now, in the movie, there is barely any distinction between Batman and Bruce Wayne. So like, what is the point of even setting that up in the narrative? And not only that, but you gotta be careful when it comes to repeat locations in film. And this is just a purely fundamental aspect of movies. Like, you want to be careful when it comes to abusing the same location over and over and over again. That tends to be a red flag. So that kind of took me out of the movie. Like, you know, there's so many other places you could explore in freaking Gotham. It's a Gotham freaking city. Like, there's so many other places that shit could have gone down. But it's like, let's sneak into the same nightclub like 3 times, where not only is Penguin there, but Falcone is there, and the freaking DA is there. Like, just put everyone there together. And it's like, whatever, man. Okay. Going back to the distinction between Batman and Bruce Wayne, like, if they would have did like a scene like that where he showed up to the same place as Bruce Wayne and then he showed up to the same place as Batman, and did that in like the Dark Knight trilogy, then I thought that would be pretty cool, because like in Chris Nolan's Dark Knight, there's a pretty clear distinction between the freaking masked vigilante and, you know, billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne. And I'm just a sucker for it, but I just really like that dynamic. I really like the 2 identity dynamic. And it's like, we just really don't know who he is in this freaking movie. And I'm still gonna give it a chance, because after all, this is the first movie of what I think is gonna be a trilogy. And, you know, looking back at Chris Nolan's trilogy, Batman Begins, like, it was good, but not as good as The Dark Knight, which had the Joker. And yet again, this kind of borrowing from the same structure. We start off with the Batman and Riddler, and then the next movie is going to be the Joker. But the thing is, like I said, it just really seems like the whole time he's just like a man-child. Like, I don't understand. I can't realistically see, like, how was he able, because I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but like, clearly he's been Batman and Bruce Wayne for some time. And it's like, Alfred's like, all right, we gotta see the accountants now. And he's like, I don't want to see the accountants. I don't feel like it. And the thing is, it's not like he's going through any revelation. It's not like the movie starts off and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know if this is what I want. It's like, no, it's just like every day, you know, here we go, Batman, Bruce Wayne type of stuff. And Bruce Wayne's like, I don't want to see the accountants. I just don't want to see them anymore. And Alfred's like, you gotta be Bruce Wayne. He's like, no, I don't want to. You talk to them. How can we, like I said, if he was like a teenager, dude, that totally makes sense. That's like an angsty stuff that a teenager, like, you think a teenager wants to talk to some accountants? No, who cares, right? Who cares? But like, this is like a straight up, this is a man. This is Robert Pattinson. And he's all walking around with his freaking eyeliner. And I know that you have to put it on for the mask. But so I actually do give Matt Reeves credit for that, because I really like that they just straight up embraced it at that point. And quite frankly, it actually makes sense considering he's so emo the whole time. So, good job. Now, lastly, I would like to say how the movie concludes. I just want to talk about that really quick, because I actually really thought that the movie was going to start redeeming itself towards the end. So basically, a bunch of vans blow up. It was like 7 vans all across Gotham harbors blowing up, right? And this was like a crucial thing that Batman missed. So basically, all these vans blow up, and it causes flooding and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, everyone gets trapped on the island. Even Selena Kyle tries escaping, but they're like, you can't get off the island. There's bombs going off and stuff like that. And this is like towards like the end of the movie. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like 20 minutes left, like when this starts happening. And not only that, you know, we also get a glimpse of the Joker towards the end, right? So I'm thinking like, oh, no way. This is going to be... You ever play a video game, right? You ever play a video game? And basically, like, you're stuck on the island and they say, oh, the bridges are closed for whatever reason. And that kind of forces you to stay on the island and play the video game. That's what I thought they were doing. I thought that they were setting up for like a kind of like an Arkham City type of thing, where basically they're all stuck on the island. And then and for the next movie, when the Joker comes out, everyone's stuck on the island and there's just chaos, and that's like the breeding ground for the Joker, right? So I thought like it was just gonna have those vans explode and everyone's stuck on the island, and it just cuts away and you see the Joker laughing, and it's like, oh, no way, stuff is about to go down. But in a span of like 15 minutes, like, there's like a little fight scene between like Batman and some Riddler goons. And then like, there's just a time jump and everything's okay. And Batman is like rescuing little kids, you know, putting them up into helicopters. And it's like, yay, Batman's rescuing people now. And it's like happily ever after. And then like him and Selena Kyle go biking on fucking motorcycles, and the end. And it's like, bro, really? Like, I would have just ended the movie with everyone being trapped on the island, because that's a cool concept. But it's like, no, it's like, literally, like, this is like the third act. This is deep. This is deep into the third act. Oh, it's resolved now. Yeah, all these vans blew up. It's not like we were setting up for the next movie. That was just some funny little third act stuff that we just wanted to throw in real quick. But it doesn't actually matter, because, you know, everything's okay and Batman saves everyone, and it's all right. And now it's like, well, yeah, the Joker's still going to be coming in the next movie, but it's like, bro, now it's a little bit more anticlimactic, because just like, bro, just think about it. That would have been a cool concept. Dude, everyone's in fear. You know, even maybe you could even have the freaking Scarecrow come back. Who even knows? But it's like, well, dang, that was a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, if you ask me. They should have really just ended the movie when the vans exploded. That's what they really should have done. Oh, and by the way, at the end of the movie, you know who was there? It was a little kid, right? That was kind of the opening crime scene. There was a little kid where basically his dad dies to the Riddler, you know, to Gotham street crime. And there's a scene where, you know, Bruce Wayne shows up to his father's funeral, and the kid's there, you know, and he's really sad. And like, deep down, I was like, it's a little kid and his father dies to crime in Gotham. Is this a setup to a Robin origin story, where like Robert Pattinson's Batman is gonna like adopt the kid as one of his own and then train him? And it's like, no, like, the kid was never really in the movie, like, for the rest of the movie, until the very end, where he was like in the water, because everything was flooding, and like the kid was in the water next to like a politician, and he reached out and lifted the kid up, and it's like, why is the kid even there at that point? But it is what it is. I'm still gonna give this trilogy a chance, because I like Batman. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I didn't come off as really, really, really unlikable. But hopefully you got something out of this. I'm just here to be the devil's advocate, you know? Just take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm just the devil's advocate here, okay? Everyone's sucking this movie's dick. I'm the devil's advocate. There's my take on it. Have a nice day. Thank you.